And good evening, everyone. Good evening, good night, good whatever it is where you are. Um, Good morning. Um, Decided after seeing Bird's stream, I needed to do another little stream here. I'm going to do an open panel this time, so here we go. I want to go ahead and say hello to, even though Gorilla's not here, I want to say hello to Gorilla's Random Thoughts, who's probably on his own stream now. Birdo Prey 5 says Kapla. Last Son of K. Hello. How are you? Crimson Mist. Hey, how are you? Mr. Londell. Ken Jack Ben, how are you? And I did put in the StreamYard link for anyone who wants to come up here. Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Hello. And he says he's going live on his channel. That's cool. You have fun. Um, Let me see here. I need to go over to my channel real quick. Be on YouTube and mute. I don't want to hear it. Share. Okay. All right. Well, the what happened 36 years ago was Encounter at Farpoint. Is the pilot episode and the series premiere of the American science fiction Star Trek: The Next Generation, which premiered in syndication on September 28th, 1987. It was written by D.C. Fontana and Gene Roddenberry and directed by Corey Allen. Roddenberry was the creator of Star Trek, and Fontana was a writer on the original series. It was originally aired as a 2 hour with commercials TV movie, and in subsequent reruns, split into 2 hour parts. It was split into two parts. So it was the guest appearances included John Delancey as Q, Michael Bell as Groppler Zorn, DeForest Kelly as Admiral Leonard Nimoy, Admiral Leonard McCoy, Lord, Cole Meany as Comminson. I don't know why it was an ensign, but whatever. Anyhow, I'm going to continue on. I'd love to come up right now. You can't because children are there and being noisy. No problem. No problem at all. It's quite understandable. Um, so let me ask this: who was around and was watching Encounter at Farpoint? And when I say that, I mean live. was. Um, and got somebody backstage, Mr. Lundell.
Howdy.
Hello, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I remember that opening salvo, shall we say, of Encounter at Farpoint. We got to see guys in mini dresses. Marina Sirtis with hair so curly, you wondered if she would be able to speak. Uh, you know, and we were like, who is this bald headed English guy with a French name?
Yeah, exactly.
Riker without the beard. That was interesting. And we all were like, why is there a Klingon on a Federation ship?
Oh, yeah.
That was probably the most interesting. The Q thing, that made it interesting. I kind of saw where they were trying to go with the story with that, claiming that we were, oh, such an aggressive species, like, oh, God, here we go with this crap again. So, then it got interesting, with Deanna feeling everything, which, okay, I'm like, she's a psychic. So much for that character.
Yes.
Other than that, it was an interesting start to a sci-fi series.
Oh, I'd agree.
Mm-hmm. Then it really got interesting when Gates walked on the ship. Like, okay, Dr. Bev and Baldy are going to be banging. We knew this.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't think to me, the doctor's role did not get interesting until they brought on what's her name? Because she channeled a little bit of McCoy, not liking transporters.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing with in the second season when they introduced. Oh my gosh, Pulaski.
Yeah, that's who I was trying to think of.
Um,
She wasn't that crazy about transporters either, and this was
no,
100 years later.
and it was just too McCoy like.
I liked it though. It harkened back to the old series, and and it kind of got you wondering. So what's wrong with technology? With that technology, there's got to be something. Very very low risk. Like with vaccines, there's a
Mm-hmm.
very very low risk of there being danger, but despite that, they are relatively safe to use. So I don't know. I don't know if that's where they were going or what. So that it would have been interesting if they could have explored that a little bit more. But after one season, they got rid of her and brought Gates McFadden back,
Yeah.
which was okay. And, and then she started having sex with a ghost. Much later on, that was now. Let's face it, that episode was creepy. Okay, there's a guy in a candle, and he curls my toes every night. Come on.
And he was doing my grandma right before she died. So yeah, not creepy at all.
Oh, not creepy. Not creepy. It's downright spine chilling. I mean, I'm banging the guy that banged great granny. Come on.
Say, oh no 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 no. Don't want- That's kind of a scary thought there.
But it had its better point. The series had its better, more stellar points.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we get to the Borg. That was, and I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing wrong with there being a Borg queen. No, it's a collective, and a collective has a hierarchy. Anything like that would have a hierarchy because where you have to ask yourself, where do the instructions come from?
Mm-hmm.
So all you people out there that are crying, the Borg queen ruined the book. No, she did. It was logical. And I'm so glad I can do this without arguing with people with the other point, with the other side, because a lot of them, they refuse to listen. But hey,
Well, it didn't start out with the queen.
we just didn't see the queen.
No kidding.
Because there has to be, even though that cube is out there, it may be autonomous to a point. It has somebody came up with the instruction, seek out technology. That's why it latched on to the Enterprise. It just didn't come up with that out of thin air.
No.
Okay. And that's what a lot of people seem to miss, especially computer people. There's if the Borg, there's I'm looking at them like there's an operating system there, and that's the Queen. That's the main operating system. She's the one. She gives out that instruction, and they go out and they look for shit. You know. Oh, I see. Looks like Son of K agrees with me. See, I'm
Yeah.
not alone. Yes. Okay. But let me think. Okay. I guess probably here's a question. When did it start? When did TNG start to jump the shark?
Hmm.
Because it did. You know, maybe not as bad as we think it should have, but it jumped the shark.
Well, when do you think it did?
Hmm. Oh, I would start with probably uh Brothers. The episode where you had Lore, you had Data, and you had Sum. and Sung put the emotion chip into Lord.
Yep.
He couldn't. Why couldn't? If anybody should be able to tell the two of them apart, it should have been Sung.
Yep.
He built them. It should have been. He should have been something about the circuitry or something that told him, "You're not Data. You're Lord."
Yeah. And
And
I would have thought the chip would have gone in somewhere else, where it would have been obvious.
Lord shouldn't have that port for the chip
Exactly.
to go in unless, I don't know, a lot of that Zoom technology really wasn't explored. I think it wasn't explored the way I think it might have been able to be. They came close when they early when they found Lord disassembled and put him back together. They kind of gave you a lecture on where Zoom got the idea from, which was Asimov's positronic brain, which you kind of figured that when Data described himself as positronic, it's the only place that could come from was Asimov's robot stories.
I like that.
The Xenomorph Queen, and I mean, well, I don't get it.
I mean, I like what you were saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I have, I have too much time on my hands. I think about these things, Otherwise, I'm busy. So, uh, hell, I don't know. So, what is people? What about people in the chat? When did the next generation jump the shark, in your opinion? But then maybe a better one would probably be uh, the dream sequences that tied in with DS9, where Data was dreaming or he got zapped by some piece of technology and it started him to dream. It makes
Hmm.
no it makes no sense for a robot to dream. So what that did, I don't know. I guess they were starting to run out of ideas. And then you had the silly one with the train in the holodeck, and all of the different, I guess you could call them metaphors.
Yeah.
That one became just hard to follow. Well, okay. Data is not a robot. Data is an android. Okay, to me, not that big a difference. To me, the terms are interchangeable.
I would agree. And hello, Jordy Lyons. How are you? I haven't seen you around, by the way. Where have you been?
Uh, Jordan. That was, so, anywho, somebody else.
I'm doing good, Jordy. We're talking about Star Trek Next Generation here right now. Um, what are your memories of Star Trek Next Generation? I'm actually doing better than I was a little bit ago, but that's another story. Wonders of modern medicine.
Oh, cool. Good for you.
Nothing illicit, nothing illegal,
No,
nothing
it,
herbal. We'll put it that way.
oh, so you don't need a prescription.
I do need a prescription, but
Oh, well, see, that in itself keeps you out of trouble. So,
yes.
okay. Tasha and Commander Riker in oil. Oh, okay, that episode. Yeah, that was. I can't think of the name of it. The episode where Yar died.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm bad with titles, but you know, I remember the plots more than I do the titles.
Yeah, exactly.
It took me 10 years to remember in the pale blue light, which is one of it is my favorite of all Star Trek episodes. So, but you know, the one where Bali was bitching. You know, that's all I can remember. But okay, yeah, okay. Oh, the one where okay, four lights. That's Chain of Command. I remember that one. That's one of the more iconic episodes. We
Yeah,
actually we actually got to see Picard, in my opinion, do something. Even though there are a lot of problems with that story. Like, okay, why would they send that higher ranking a captain to do something like that? I mean, Starfleet they would have a SEAL team type organization that would do stuff like that.
exactly.
That was that was I could see Picard knowing somebody that was part of that mission, and he was going in to try to get him out. I could see that,
Yeah,
but you know, but it introduced Chain of Command. It introduced us to Jellicoe, a real, I would say, Starfleet captain, on what one would be like. Immediately comes in, changes everything about the ship, and Riker, instead of being second in command and following his orders, starts bitching and moaning.
and of course the the mm, perspective that the audience is given is to show that Riker is correct, even though he's not.
There was nothing correct about what Riker took in that situation. He's the executive officer. He takes all he gets orders from the captain and he carries them out. And he should have right then when he told him, you know, go from three to four, we went from three to four shifts, which I mean, it should have been a four shift duty roster anyway. It makes more sense.
Yes.
You have more time off.
Yeah.
So I don't, why they went to three. Like I don't know, laid back Picard, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, the thing was, I guess maybe the only mistake I think Jellicoe made when he first met Riker. He should have told him, we might have to go into combat. So this is what we got to do. We got to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gave him that list. That was probably the only. That was probably the only mistake made. Other than that, you know,
Yeah, we have to be ready for combat. This is how we're going to get ready for combat.
mm-hmm.
See that it's done. You're
Okay.
correct.
Ken Jack been 3 episodes that I believe break the show, but do not ruin it. Relics, Rascals, Unnatural Selection. I'm trying to remember Unnatural Selection. Uh, I don't agree with Rascals though, because that was for the most part you look at as like the B. It was either the B or the C plot where Guinan and was with Ro. Ro hated being a kid again because she had such a bad time as a kid.
Yes.
And with Guinan, she was enjoying it. Okay,
Oh,
doing
yeah.
doing everything she did as a kid, she did it again.
Yep.
And she was trying to explain, that's explaining to Ro, yeah, nobody, like nobody's childhood is perfect. But that was, despite that that was a special time, you know. And at the end, Ro kind of came around, and the two of them were actually the last two to be reconverted
That's right.
because she found something fun in her childhood. So I don't necessarily think that was a episode that broke the show. Relics, okay, that's the one with Scotty, right? I think.
Yes.
Okay. No, that was. I wish they would have done more of that. Brought more of the original cast in. They could say, okay, Kirk was dead by then, but I mean, it started with McCoy, 170 years old, you know, touring the latest Enterprise. That was
Mm-hmm.
that was I actually liked that scene real real much. But Unnatural Selection, that one I can't remember that one. So you may have to give me a brief synopsis on that one.
Find it here.
Oh, the part that breaks the show is they go back to being adult. Not necessarily. It's what they did as children are the most important thing. Okay, they were they were kids in stature only. See, Picard still knew the ship backwards and forwards. Okay, and because they were children, they knew they would be ignored at times. So that's that was they used that to their advantage. Oh, okay, Unnatural Selection, the episode where Pulaski gets the aging disease from the. Oh, okay, that was her last episode. That doesn't break anything. I mean, that was her. Okay, that was her arrogance. See, that's one thing nobody really, I don't think, pays attention to about not only Picard and Riker, but Pulaski, and to some extent, all of the bridge crew. There was there was a degree of arrogance about them. That's what got them flung across space and introduced to the Borg.
Yeah.
That arrogance, and the the thing with somebody like Q. Okay, there's something out there that we're not ready for, but that does not mean you can be a member of this crew. We don't need to be out there yet, so no, I'm not going to play your game. That's how you deal with somebody like Q. See, but
Yeah.
they are so arrogant. What did I think it was Riker say just before Q snapped his fingers? We'll meet it and we'll be ready. We can face it, yada yada. And then he snaps his finger, and you're right there, whatever quadrant that was. And before you know it, there's this big block cutting uh, cutting chunks out of your ship. Okay. Sometimes you got to know when to shut up. And that was one time, you know. So why they in the early, why they got into debates with with early Q is beyond me. The first time, I mean, Farpoint should have been enough for me with Q.
Uh,
But
wonder how
that,
things. I
but
wonder how
that,
things are
oh,
going over. I wonder how things are going over with Jason. I know that Salty is not on his own stream tonight.
oh, I don't, I haven't dealt with Salty in so long. And you know, I got tired of I got tired of that. He and I don't see eye to eye, and he doesn't believe in point counterpoint. So, especially on something like this, I mean, a TV show, we can all agree, disagree, and at the end,
Exactly.
have a couple of beers and agree to disagree.
Exactly. Uh,
Okay.
more like
But okay, unnatural selection. That like I said, it just showed how arrogant they could be. you know, and even the I mean doctor, she was not. I mean, she was arrogant to a point. Jordy had some arrogance about him, especially when it came to competing with other engineers about that ship.
oh yeah, his ship.
So I mean, I don't know if that's what they were getting at. With those Q episodes. That how that arrogance could could get them into trouble. I mean, because that's one thing. Uh, they blame certain captains for starting wars
Mm-hmm.
throughout. I mean, throughout all of the movies, TV shows, and everything, they blame certain captains for starting wars. So, and a lot of it, I I wouldn't necessarily. blame it on them, but they were following orders, and you're in a situation where you can't necessarily just you know get on the horn to Starfleet. What should I do here? You make that decision, and
Exactly.
the Admiralty is either going to back you or damn you for doing it. And I rarely see damnation of the captains. So
Yeah. Yeah. But most of the time they end up backing them up.
yeah,
Even if they're not completely in agreement, they still back them up.
yeah, Shades of Grey sucked. I'm sure it did. Okay, yeah, that is. Even TOS acknowledged that a belief in God was okay. TNG stepped away from it. Well, that's because Roddenberry was a big time atheist, and probably 80% of Hollywood is now. Well, 90% of Hollywood is now. The other 10% just keep their mouth shut.
Yep.
So that's not surprising at all, son of K. And but they have no problem bringing in God-like characters. Q. They give Q all these God-like powers,
That's right.
and then they turn around and make Q a bully. So uh, they bring the God-like character in so that they can say there is no God. Well, it's up to you and me to say different. In my, that's just how I see it, Ken.
I agree.
But I don't know. What about interesting episodes? I think we will probably all agree that like Inner Light is one of those good episodes. That everybody seems to gravitate toward.
Yeah.
But what about okay? Now here's a good question. What about Inner Light makes it so much of a fan favorite?
Hmm.
I mean, it to me it's got to be more than the mere fact that one person experienced the culture, a culture that died out, thousands of years ago.
Right.
And it's a culture that, by the way, didn't look like it had the technology to do that. Or they just lived simply despite everything.
Yeah. It it didn't in the one way it doesn't make sense because it was very much ahead of the people's technology. And or did they just put everything into this that they've been building up to this to trying to get something out there?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now, if it was okay, I could understand the artifacts in there.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember now, that probe latched onto Picard, and he passed out for a few minutes, and he experienced 60, 70 years of living in that culture. That's the part I don't get. Because all, they looked like they were like really simple people, maybe 21st century technology.
Right.
They didn't look that it didn't seem to me now. Maybe I missed something. They didn't seem that advanced a culture, but I could be wrong.
Well, when Picard went to the government with the findings, they had already known
Yeah.
all of this stuff. So
Hmm.
at that point, they had already been focused on building something. So that's, I think, where all their technological advances went, was to building this creation to launch, to leave something of the society
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I needed a little bit of an additional explanation about some things. Because next thing I mean, he's building a extra room onto the house, and you know learning to play the whistle. So
Oh, that flute was
yeah.
interesting.
But one thing though, they never did a time travel episode, did they? In Next Gen.
Time travel. No.
No, they did. That's the only Trek that didn't then.
The only way they did was in the movies. I remember that.
Yeah,
Um,
First Contact.
yeah,
Well, evidently they saved it for the movie. So I guess, well, you could say that TNG had a time travel storyline then because of the movie. Other than
yeah, but it still wasn't in the series. So
yeah, it wasn't, but I'll give it to him because well, First Contact. That's like you know the pivotal moment for the culture. So that should be a movie. Only thing is, okay, now remember from the original series, they did an episode with oh god, I'm just blanking on everybody's name now. The guy that created Warp Drive. Okay, I can't. There was an original series episode there about him. Well, with him in it. And I'm trying to remember if they kind of match up canonically. Uh, Okay. Ken Jackman. Remember the First Contact episode where Riker had sex with that alien lady to get out of the hospital.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, Zephram Cochrane. I can't. I don't know why I'm blanking on names.
Zephyr Cochrane and the Companion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. BB Newworth. Yeah, she was kind of cute as an alien son. Okay, with the glasses and everything. But hmm, that episode, the first contact episode. Okay, why? Uh, I don't understand how they would have let Riker down there and not have a way to get him out. Just remember, they in the original series they had subcutaneous stuff, where they could beam them out
Mm-hmm.
in an emergency. Time's Arrow was a time travel episode. LDG,
Oh, yes.
was it?
Time Zero. That was the one where they found Data's head.
Oh, God. Ooh, sure. How do we? Okay. Well, see, that was probably one of the less memorable episodes. I think that was toward the end, so it was starting to slow down big time. So it was. Yeah, you're right, LDG. Well, see, LDG's got so much free time on his hands, people. So yeah, he's probably running. He's probably running that episode in the backstage right now. See, or either Darren is back there and he reminded him of it. That's right. That was, yeah. They did. They went back to the 19th century. So
Sexy Romulan scientist.
huh, nah, I'd rather have a Vulcan woman scientist. Uh,
Well, what have you got coming up, Mr. Lundell?
oh, me? Okay, I am doing a watch party Saturday, 3 p.m. Central on my channel. It is kind of a. I'm getting ready for Halloween, so it's kind of a cult classic, Carnival of Souls. I don't know how many people know the movie. All Good Things, LDG. I don't. That last, I don't know about that. That was just too damn convoluted. And Tapestry. I don't. Okay, LDG. eh, They did time travel episodes on TNG. You made your point.
Tapestry. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the damn plots run in my mind more than the episode titles. Okay.
Oh, him and his foot.
Time travel where? But anywho, I'm gearing up for Halloween on my channel. and we're having a watch party. Saturday's movie will be Carnival of Souls. It's cult classic. A lot of you know it, a lot of you don't. But I hope to see you over there. It's Saturday, 3 p.m. Central.
Awesome. Make sure to check it out, Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies.
Other than that, I'm having a grand old time. LDG, you and this foot crap. What is it? You and feet. Good one, Gap. LDG, your foot barely travels from your sitting position in your chair, let alone his bed. So
Exactly. Ah. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure to join Mr. Lundell on his channel. Catch some groovy movies.
oh yeah.
And have a great night. Or whatever time of day it is when you're watching this.
Okie dokie.